Grant with the department.
Michael McFarland, representing Mr. Bates, please introduce yourself.
Katarina Dumont for Mother, Miss Mills.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, Shayla Mills.
Thank you. Anybody you need spelled?
No, I'm good.
All right, great. Well, let's go to Ms. Heiss for her report whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. I met the child and she is so special. She is very lucky to have both parents in her life. And at this point, the uninvited guest is domestic violence. But I think that we can tackle that extra guest. And both parents are very motivated to be in this child's life. And she has some needs. They're going to require some extra appointments, and mother is very capable. I look so forward to visiting this child when she's with her father next, because the reports are showing that he has a lot of capability and wants to be involved. She's quite a fantastic kid. So I've looked over the case service plan, and I believe it addresses everything that we need to do to help these folks tweak their lives to be so much better for the benefit of this child. And I visited with her face to face. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you. I don't have Ms. Grant be sworn in.
Ms. Grant, come on up to her witness stand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please watch your step.
Morning, Ms. Grant. How are you?
Good morning.
Okay, today you have provided the court with a court report, including the proposed case service plans for today's hearing. And included with your report, your cover page indicates that there is the case service plan, a family team meeting report for mom, dad's case service plan, a family team meeting report for him, a parenting time plan, a trauma checklist for the child, the will child report for the child, an LISD assessment for the child, and then 2 PPO documents relating to 2 different individuals. We'll just put that. Since you circulated this document with those attachments, have there been any updates or modifications that need to be made to these documents?
I don't believe so. The only thing that I have that is updated is in the court report, I did indicate that I had requested ACPC records for verification of services, diagnoses, and medication for dad. I have received that since I circulated those reports.
And during this period between adjudication and dispo, have you had the opportunity to work on the case service plan or develop it with the input of the parents?
Yes, so we had family team meetings with both parents, came up with the case service plans and the parenting time agreement with both parents, which was agreed upon and signed by both parents. And then since that has started, both parents do have therapy that is scheduled to begin in the month of September. The referrals for psychologicals have been made with both psychologicals reaching out to me actually today to get those set up and scheduled. So,
Would you mind moving the microphone a little closer to you, Ms. Thomas? The fan seems to be in lion mode today.
Sorry about that. Okay. And currently, the permanency goal for the child is to remain in the home of one of the parents, correct?
that is correct.
And the conditions that cause court interference, I guess, or court jurisdiction were surrounded domestic violence and educational neglect. I think that's the best way to summarize it. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And have there been any steps to address those conditions in the last few weeks?
So far, both parents have resided in their own homes. We have come up with a parenting time plan where the child is being exchanged to the DHS office for the set parenting time. Ms. Edwards is involved helping coordinate that, work on parenting skills. Additionally, the child was assessed for autism, was diagnosed with mild autism, but the report is not available yet. It's still in process. And then following that, we will be, mom has scheduled an appointment through CMH for ABA referral services. And the next steps will be kind of following those and moving forward to what is best to serve the child that way.
And in this, given the domestic violence component, how is dad being included, if you know, in being part of the child's treatment plan?
Sure, so their communication is to be limited. They do have an app close, which was set up. It is new to us specifically at the department of setting that up. So the parents and I have kind of had to navigate that together. Each have set up an account. They do need to add each other as co-parents. I cannot add them together. So they do need to do that. Dad has attended one occupational therapy. They are encouraged to at least attend medical appointments together so that they both are getting the same information on how to care for this child.
And just to clarify, it was Ms. Mills who took the initiative to really kind of get that autism assessment done.
That is correct.
With her own means.
Yes, yes. She did initially pay for the assessment and such. Dad, during his first parenting time exchange, did provide her with a money order to pay for half of it.
Wonderful. And the case service plan, do you believe that it adequately addresses the conditions that cause the court to come into this family's life?
Yes, it addresses mental health, the domestic violence, and the developmental needs of the minor child.
Do you think that the parenting time plan would also sufficiently protect the child from witnessing and or being part of any of the domestic violence that this family may have experienced in the past?
Yes.
So far, do you think that Ms. Edwards' investment in this family is beneficial for them at this point in time?
Yes,
And is that something that needs to continue?
it is.
Is there anything you want to note about the people attached to your report?
Sure. So both PPOs were filed by mom. They are towards two members of dad's family, his mother, who he resides with, as well as his sister. So the one with his mother was denied by Judge Cantalone. The one with his sister was granted between mom and the sister. However, when she did go to court last week, she had indicated that she wanted to add the minor child to that. But Judge Anzalone deferred to this court if we felt like there was any risk of harm to the child being around the sister.
Does the maternal, I'm going to refer to that individual as the maternal aunt or paternal aunt.
Paternal aunt, yes.
Does paternal aunt reside with dad and his mom?
She does not.
Okay. Were you able to discuss that issue with Mr. Bates at all, like what he thinks might be appropriate for his sister and the child, like their contact?
He doesn't believe there is any risk of harm between his sister and his daughter. I know there is a very contentious relationship between mom and paternal family. I don't know of the relationship specifically between the minor child and the paternal aunt.
And just wondering if you've been able to see any of these alleged messages between the paternal aunt and mom indicating that the paternal aunt was threatening to be aggressive towards mom?
I have not. The only thing I received was after I was informed of that, Mr. Bates did send me a message from the paternal aunt stating that as soon as Miss Mills got off the phone with me, sent a message follow-up to the aunt. But again, it was a lot of he said, she said things.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about the child being around any of the paternal family?
None that have been directly brought to my attention. I think as long as Ms. Mills and Mr. Bates are separated, it does lower the risk of harm because a lot of it comes from the adults' interactions.
Is there anything else that you would like to highlight from your court report or bring to the court's attention from your knowledge or any of the documents contained in your report?
I don't think so at this point.
Thank you. Your Honor, with that, I have no further questions of Ms. Grant and would move to admit the court report with its attachments.
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
Thank you. They are received. Cross-examination, Mr. McFarland?
Yes, you indicated you are attempting to get the ACPC reports for the benefit of the parents. What does that stand for?
ACPC is Adrian Counseling and Psychology.
Can you share the psychological evaluations with the parties' attorneys as soon as they're completed, so we don't have to wait until the next review to go over those? Thank you. Prioritization. Where would you say, I imagine the psychological is a big priority for my client, correct?
Correct.
Where should his other focus be on that case service plan?
A main thing for him is going to be his parenting skills. So he's working very closely with Linda Edwards right now. We're also going to be working on very basic parenting skills with him, including I'm going to be providing him with the information to go to Care Pregnancy Center and complete parenting classes with him.
And you anticipate that he should be attending those by what time? So we kind of know the time.
Within the next week or two.
Okay. Okay, nothing further. Thank you.
Ms. Dumont, next.
You've reviewed the PPO Ms. Mills has against Shantika Bates.
That is correct.
Okay. And in that it indicated that Shantika tried to attack her at a park where the minor child was present. And then it had further indicated that Shantika has assisted in hiding the minor child, and she had to go to court to be able to get an ex parte to get her back. Do you believe with that information, do you believe that Shantika should have contact with the minor child, or do you have some concerns with regards to that?
Well, I think it should be important to note that CPS did investigate those alleged concerns back when they happened with the kidnapping of the child. There was no custody in place at that time, which is why the ex parte had to be filed and custody defaulted to whichever parent had the child at the time. So I can't necessarily say that it was kidnapping as stated in the report.
Okay. But if Ms. Mills has any concerns with regards to the minor child having contact with Shantika, is she able to just bring those concerns to you, or any text messages or anything?
Absolutely. My understanding is that the sister has not been around this child. I know that Jacob has used the sister for transportation and car rides and those kind of things, but the minor child hasn't been around her.
Okay. All right. And then what would you like Ms. Mills to focus on during this review period?
Yep, so she, her big focus has been really making sure that, sorry, I didn't want to say her name, the minor child is attending her appointments, the ABA therapy that we're following up with that, getting her really started on her therapy and the psychological completed, and following those recommendations. And I also informed her that I would be sending her the parenting course online to complete. The issue with Shayla this reporting period will be that she does have surgery upcoming, so I want to be very mindful of that and not overloading her too much of what needs to be done around that time. So if we're alternating and maybe changing things based upon what her ability is around that surgery, then we'll be adjusting for that.
Ms. Heiss?
Thank you. I have no questions at this time.
Any redirect, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seat? Anyone else who'd like us to hear from Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland?
One moment. We have nobody, Your Honor.
Ms. Dumont?
No one here.
Ms. Heiss?
No witnesses today. Thank you.
Well, comments in closing?
Your Honor, I believe that with the assistance of the Department of Parents, have a good case service plan in place to address the conditions that caused this court to take jurisdiction over this family. As it relates to contact with the paternal family, I would ask the court to leave that to each parent's individual discretion during their own parenting time when they allow the child around. I think that the parents are legally responsible for the safety of their child, and if they permit another individual to jeopardize that, then they are the ones to be held responsible. But I don't know that it's beneficial to interfere with familial relationships when we expect those natural supports to really assist when the court jurisdiction is over. With that, we are just asking for a standard 90-day review and for the case service plan to be entered into the order. Thank you.
Comments, Mr. McFarland?
I think my client knows the direction and the time frame to take, so leave it at that.
Mr. Mott?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objection with the case service plan. Ms. Mills is employed, she has good housing, she'll get her therapy started this month, so I think between now and the next review period, she will have completed everything she needs to.
Ms. Heiss?
Yes, the case service plan indicates that both parents need domestic violence education, counseling. I think that could be done sooner than waiting for the psychological. We have some resources in the community that really make that come alive for people who really participate and dig in. And I think I would like to see that referral go out sooner than later. And that's my only comment. Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Ms. Grant, could you tackle that for us? Thank you. I just want to take a minute to say that I really appreciate, I feel very heard by you, Ms. Grant. I asked you specifically to look at the family time, the transitions, the parenting time, and it's very clear you've spent a lot of time and energy developing a plan that will help assist this family. So thank you for doing that. All right, as it relates to the initial disposition, all interested parties have been served. I have reviewed the case services plans. They do appear to be appropriate and they will become part of today's court order. So that will be what we look at in our future hearings to see whether or not both parents have made progress. I agree with Ms. Thomas that whichever family members each parent wishes to have seen the child will be done during his or her parenting time only. And I won't restrict that unless I hear anything further that does indicate that there would be a risk associated with that, but nothing I've heard today indicates that. I also want to note that those kind of dynamics tend to signal those control tactics in an abuse situation, and I see that. And so I'm asking both of you to double down on your efforts in looking for counseling to help identify those patterns and change that, both for yourselves and for your children moving forward, child at least. So the child will remain placed with mom. That is the safest and least restrictive at the time. There's a parenting time plan in place. I'll attach that as well to the order for easy reference. In addition to the case services plan, that is the safest and least restrictive. So both parents are getting to see the child and working on their barriers. And I look forward to seeing the updates in our next court hearing.
I'll give you the order. That's all the dates.
All right, how about let's do 10 a.m. December 6th, Friday, December 6th at 10 a.m. Will that work? Do either of you have work schedules I need to work around?
I work sometimes till 10:30 a.m. if I'm mandated, and I won't know if I'm mandated that day, but it's just better in the afternoon for me,
Can you make it by 11 or do you need me to go to the afternoon?
12 or 1 preferably.
All right, so let's go to Monday, December 9th at 1:30. Okay. All right, so we'll do Monday, December 9th at 1:30 for our first regular review for both parents. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.